Hello, you're watching the English News Bulletin on Qpvn channel. I'm Nguyen, and now let me keep you up to date with the headlines. Party General Secretary Reup attends Grand's 50th National Day celebration in Laos. Vietnamese National Assembly's Museum inaugurated. Vietnam-Cambodia business dialogue held in Cambodia. On December the 2nd, in Vientiane, Laos, the Central Committee of the Lao People's Revolutionary Party, the government, the National Assembly, the Fatherland Front, Armed Forces, and people of Laos organized a ceremony to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Laos National Day, December the 2nd. General Secretary of the Lao People's Revolutionary Party and President Thongloun Sisoulith delivered a speech at the ceremony. Party General Secretary of Vietnam Reup and his spouse attended the event. The event also saw the attendance of General Phan Van Giang, Minister of National Defense. At the ceremony, the Lao General Secretary emphasized that the past 50 years have been a process of founding, continuously perfecting, and developing the Lao People's Democratic Republic. This achievement stems from long, arduous struggles, patriotic spirit, revolutionary movements, and the sacrifices of previous generations, combined with precious international support. Particularly the solidarity and strategic alliance of the three Indo-Chinese countries of Laos, Vietnam, and Cambodia, culminating in the great victory summarized by President Cây Son from Vihan as Long Struggle, Great Victory. Following the speech, a grand and solemn parade of armed forces, ministries, agencies, and social political organizations took place, vividly demonstrating the achievements across social, economic, and defense sectors that the Lao Party and people have accomplished over the past 50 years. In the coming time, Laos will continue a peaceful, independent, friendly, and cooperative foreign policy, strengthening relations with friendly and strategic partners. The country will continue to cement ties with friendly nations and development partners, especially deepening solidarity with its strategic friends. Laos aims to combine national strength with global trends in safeguarding and building the nation, upholding independence, self-reliance, and a strong national identity. At the same time, it will promote people's ownership, ensuring that all citizens benefit fairly from development toward a more prosperous and stable life. During the visit, Party General Secretary Reup and General Secretary of the Lao People's Revolutionary Party and President Thongloun Sisoulith attended the inauguration of the Laos-Vietnam Friendship Park in Vientiane and co-chaired a meeting between the two Politburos and witnessed a signing ceremony of the minutes of agreement between the two agencies. The same day, General Phan Van Giang, Minister of National Defense of Vietnam, met with his Lao counterpart, Sing Lieutenant General Kham Lieng U Thak Cây Son in Vientiane of Laos. Minister Phan Van Giang believes that Laos would continue to obtain new achievements in the renewal process, building a peaceful, independent, democratic, unified, and prosperous country towards socialism. Minister Kham Lieng U Thak Cây Son affirmed that Laos always remembers and appreciates the sincere and wholehearted support and the enormous contributions of Vietnam to Laos in the past struggle for national liberation and unification, as well as in the current cause of national renewal, construction, protection, and development. On the basis of the 2026 cooperation plan signed between the two ministries of defense, the two defense leaders agreed to coordinate and direct agencies and units to proactively develop plans to implement cooperation contents, ensuring quality and efficiency. On the afternoon of December the 2nd, National Assembly Chairman Chen Theng-min attended the inauguration ceremony for the National Assembly's Museum, marking the 80th anniversary of the Vietnamese legislature, January the 6th. The event saw the attendance of former leaders of the party and the National Assembly. The museum, covering an 800 square meters of exhibition space, displays nearly 1,000 photographs and documents, as well as 250 notable artifacts representing the dedication, enthusiasm, intelligence, and responsibility of generations of National Assembly leaders and deputies. The museum is also expected to become an educational and inspirational space, one of the bridges for the public, the young generation, and international friends to gain better understanding of the Vietnam National Assembly and the historical process of the nation, reflecting the 80-year journey of overcoming difficulties and constant innovation, affirming that the National Assembly is the highest representative body of the people, the highest state power organ of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. On this occasion, a stamp set marking the 80th founding anniversary of the National Assembly was launched. Also on the evening of December the 2nd in Hanoi, the Embassy of Cuba in Vietnam hosted a solemn reception to mark the 65th anniversary of the establishment of the diplomatic relations between Vietnam and Cuba. Attending the event were General Nguyễn Trọng Nghĩa, Chairman of the General Political Department of the Vietnam People's Army, and Lieutenant General Lê Quang Đạo, Deputy Chief of the General Staff of the Vietnam People's Army. Speaking at the reception, General Nguyễn Trọng Nghĩa emphasized that over the past 65 years, the Vietnam-Cuba relationship has been a steadfast, pure, and enduring journey, built upon the loyal solidarity between the two countries. He affirmed that Vietnam always values, preserves, and promotes this legacy in today's defense cooperation. The Cuban ambassador to Vietnam stressed that a special relationship has been established between Cuba and Vietnam, grounded in mutual trust, faithful affection, and sincere assistance. Countless noble gestures exchanged between the two peoples have been deeply engraved in historical memory and passed down through generations of leaders and citizens of both nations. Over the past 65 years, the Vietnam-Cuba friendship has always been considered an exemplary symbol of international solidarity and an exceptional symbol of loyalty and steadfastness. From the years of wartime hardships to today's efforts in national building and development, our two countries have always stood side by side by sharing, supporting each other with sincere goodwill. In a world full of uncertainties, the value of this special relationship becomes even more evident. To help our audience better understand the history and significance of Vietnam-Cuba friendship, QPVN reporter had a talk with Associated Professor Dr. Nguyễn Viết Thảo, Vice President of the Vietnam-Cuba Friendship Associations.
Sir, over the past 65 years, the Vietnam-Cuba relationship has always been mentioned as a symbol of rare international solidarity. In your view, what are the core values, the spiritual ties that have helped the two nations overcome geographical distance and keep the friendship intact until today? Over the past 65 years, the Vietnam-Cuba relationship has truly been a symbol of a profoundly special, trustworthy, loyal, and mutually supportive friendship, both during the national resistance war against imperialist invaders and in the process of national reconstruction. Although geographically far apart, half a world away, our two peoples, under the leadership of the two communist parties, quickly came to understand each other, support each other, and nurture a friendship characterized by loyalty and purity. In my opinion, the first and most important factor that connects our two nations, our peoples, our parties, and our states is the shared ideal of national independence, the fight against colonialism and imperialism, and the building of socialism. These noble ideas brought our peoples together in shared trenches, sharing hardships and scarcity, sharing even grains of rice and grams of sugar, always standing together in times of challenges, and of course standing together in days of the great victory and joy. Moreover, our two nations are connected through long-standing traditions of friendship, solidarity, peace, and goodwill. The Cuban people embody these values, and so do the Vietnamese. Although our peoples met quite late in history, we quickly understood each other because of these deeply rooted values.
The friendship between Vietnam and Cuba is not only a glorious past, but also a provision for the future. What do you expect from the young generation of the two countries who will continue this special relationship in the current period of development and deep integration? I not only expect, but fully believe that the youth of Vietnam and Cuba will continue to nurture and develop this pure, faithful, and deeply special Vietnam-Cuba friendship. During the recent fundraising campaign to support the Cuban people, we saw millions of Vietnamese express solidarity through social media alone, from young children donating savings kept in ceramic piggy banks to the elderly contributing a portion of their pensions. From lowlands to highlands, people from all walks of life demonstrated the brotherly affection between Vietnam and Cuba, many of whom were young people. As we reviewed the images and information, we were deeply moved by the heartfelt support that Vietnamese youth showed towards Cuba. Many openly said that today's contributions represent the spirit of when drinking water, remember its source, repaying the solidarity Cuba once extended to Vietnam, sending millions of tons of sugar, medicine, and essential goods, and even borrowing foreign currency to buy specialized equipment to help open the Ho Chi Minh Trail, contributing to our 1975 general offensive. These young people spoke very accurately. The amount raised this time, though large or small, is less important than the political awareness, the internationalist spirit, the selfless and pure solidarity shown by Vietnamese youth and our people toward international friends. This time it is Cuba. At other time it will be other peoples around the world. To me, this reflects a profound level of political understanding and awareness among the young generations of Vietnam. Thank you for your sharing, sir.
Coming up next, Vietnam-Cambodia business dialogue held in Cambodia. Improving quality of education for students with disabilities. With the goal of promoting business connectivity between Vietnam and Cambodia, on December the 2nd in Siem Reap Province, the Consulate General of Vietnam in Battambang organized the 2025 Cambodia-Vietnam Business Dialogue for the northwestern region of Cambodia.
Consul General Trần Tuấn Anh emphasized that the dialogue aims to enhance practical business links, promote economic, trade, and investment cooperation, and hear directly from enterprises. The focus is on 7 northwestern provinces of Cambodia, an area with strong potential and an important part of the country's economic network. He noted that Vietnam is a key trading partner of Cambodia, while investment opportunities are expanding thanks to the new investment law and an improved business environment. To further attract Vietnamese investment, the president of the Vietnam-Cambodia Business Association proposed key measures, including improving the legal and administrative environment, developing strategic infrastructure, and offering incentives and support for priority sectors.
Education is not only about transmitting the knowledge, but also about giving equal opportunities for each individual to develop, especially for students with disabilities. With the motto of leaving no one behind, in recent years, special education and inclusive education in Vietnam have yielded positive results.
According to statistics from the Ministry of Education and Training, inclusive education for students with disabilities at primary level in Vietnam has many bright spots in special education. However, there is still a shortage of highly trained teachers. At the National College for Education, the bilingual teaching model for hard of hearing students is being piloted and has shown effectiveness, but also difficulties. The challenge is lack of teachers, specific educational programs, and instructions on how to apply them to teachers. In addition, we need to pay attention to learning materials and equipment to meet the needs of students with disabilities. To solve difficulties and challenges in special education in Vietnam, the Republic of Korea organization Angel's Haven, in coordination with the Vietnamese agencies, has organized many practical and meaningful programs. Vietnamese education receives support from many individuals and organizations inside and outside the country, helping bring new achievements in education for people with disabilities in Vietnam. On February the 25th, 2025, the Prime Minister approved the planning of the system of specialized educational facilities and centers to support the development of inclusive education until 2030, with the vision to 2050, aiming to build an effective and integrated special education system. According to experts, to achieve this goal, Vietnam needs to promote digitalization, improve teacher capacity, improve facilities, and strengthen the role of community, helping people with disabilities to be more confident and develop themselves.
And that's all for now. Remember, you can always watch news again at qpvn.vn. Now, thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.